Good morning. My name is Olson Lee. I'm the director of the Mayor's Office of Housing, and I want to welcome everybody to what will be a spectacular affordable housing development, yet another spectacular affordable housing development in San Francisco. On this occasion, I have the pleasure of introducing a variety of people who will talk to you about this particular project and to acknowledge the wonderful people who are contributing to the creation of this housing for formerly homeless vets. I think that in San Francisco, we have tried very, very hard to provide housing for all those who need housing, to provide that not just with bricks and mortars, but with wraparound supportive services. And this is another example of that. And we have on this special occasion a special guest, a person who has been a great supporter of affordable housing, the Assistant Secretary Mercedes Marquez. But before we have her speak, I'd like to ask the mayor for a few remarks at this time. Thank you.
All right. Good morning. We have a very dedicated team here, but this is a very special occasion because we get to welcome in our Assistant Secretary of HUD. Marquez has been a wonderful partner, along with the local HUD office as well, have been great partners with the city of San Francisco for decades. And, this is a very special project. It's special and it's very endearing to us because it focuses on our veterans and what we're doing to help our veterans. That's been one of the most important goals that reflects the values of this city. And we've time and time again wanted to emphasize every opportunity we can where we say that our veterans deserve all of the help when they come back and when they're coming here and when they're adjusting in life. And I know of no greater partnership than with our HUD offices who have seen what we're doing here, know that this reflects not only our local values, our national values. I want to thank President Obama because we had a chance to meet with him as in the Conference of Mayors just 2 weeks ago. He had all of his cabinet members meet with us and give us the respect because he knows that the mayors across this country are struggling with how we deliver services, how we deliver on the promises that have been made by this country to take care of our struggling families, our low-income families, our residences. And he has delivered with the kind of programs that HUD has and the advantage that we have with our local talent that we have here. I want to thank Trent Rohr. I want to thank Olson. I want to thank Reverend Fong for his advocacy along here for keeping us together. We have a new director of the Mayor's Office of Housing Opportunities and Partnerships and Engagement. Of course, that's Bevan Dufty. I want to thank him as well. The vets here, the contractors here. Of course, Nicole here, of course, from our local offices as well. And then we've assembled contractors. We assembled a marvelous design team, Gelfand Partners. I've known them for many years. They design really great. In fact, their expertise is to use old buildings that look worn and unusable and recreate them with the highest level of environmental qualities that we can possibly have. And so I know that the best talent is here, working with Cahill, working with our veterans and our veteran offices to provide the best that we can to make sure that this housing opportunity, the Veterans Common, comes in on time and does its best to reflect our values. So I want to thank everyone for assembling here together to make sure this promise is delivered. But again, a special thanks to our HUD national office, to HUD Secretary Sean Donovan and his expertise and his values. We had a chance to talk directly about this specific project, which resulted in the Deputy Secretary coming out here and viewing for herself the progress that's being made. But it emanates from, I think, a national leadership that I'm embracing very much and very strongly, that we are delivering on our promises. And this is why we get to announce that we are still the third lowest unemployment rates in the whole state of California, and we are enjoying unprecedented numbers across the country. We're delivering on these promises, and thank you very much for all coming today.
At this time, I'd like to ask the Assistant Secretary to come up and say a few remarks. As the Mayor mentioned earlier in his remarks, she is a wonderful, wonderful supporter of affordable housing, and her career, her lifelong career, has been committed to economic justice and the creation of affordable housing. And she is a personal friend and somebody who is in the right position at the right time. So without further ado, Assistant Secretary Mercedes Marquez.
Thank you so much. My pleasure to be here, particularly because I'm a native San Franciscan and I don't get to come home very often. So nice to be here. Olson and I we've been friends a very long time, and both as natives. We've watched the city change over the years, and so it's for the better. Mayor, congratulations on your election. We're all so proud. I want to thank Ophelia for helping us out so much and doing such a wonderful job in this area. You know, at HUD, we are so focused on the issue of ending veterans' homelessness. We've made a commitment to the President that we would end veterans' homelessness in 5 years, along with the Secretary of VA, and we've really worked hard to deliver on that promise. Just in the last year, we've brought down veterans' homelessness by 12% in 1 year. That is difficult to achieve, you know that. But it comes from very specific focus between the VA and different offices in HUD to make that happen across the country. And this particular project is wonderful because it's serving those who have been on the streets a long time, right? Folks who really have suffered. And we don't want to forget them as younger men and women are coming home. We don't want to forget folks who've been on the streets a long time and who have really as they say, they've just aged beyond their years, and we want to help them. This is the type of program that does it, and it does it with some special funds. The home program that is very much involved in this has built over 1 million units in 20 years of its existence at HUD. It's an absolutely fabulous program. It helps from extremely low-income people all the way to home ownership for folks just beginning. This is an incredible example of that. And I want to tell you, a couple of days ago, the President made a huge announcement about housing. And I want to start with one of the things that doesn't get as much play in the press about it, and it's because it's focused on the very poor. He made a $1 billion commitment to the nation's first affordable housing trust fund, and has said that it will be included in his budget in just 2 weeks to Congress. That affordable housing trust fund is focused on rental housing for people who are at 30% and below of the area and median income, folks like those that will get the opportunity to call this place home. We're very excited at HUD that it has come. We have already been working on what would be the first rule. We've been working on it for a couple of years since it's passed, but it's never been funded. So we're calling on Congress to fund it. The other thing the President has done as it relates to this and to jobs is he's also made a commitment that included in his budget will be a $15 billion program called Project Rebuild. It is the neighborhood stabilization program that is worked to purchase and rehabilitate foreclosed properties, both multifamily and single family across the country, and put people back to work. We estimate that a $15 billion program will create over 200,000 jobs and treat over 150,000 units, many of them looking like this and achieving these types of goals. You know, today we had some encouraging news, and that's that the unemployment rate in January dropped to 8.3%, the lowest it's been in 3 years. Over 257,000 jobs created in the last month. We're moving in the right direction. We have a long way to go, but a comprehensive list of programs like the ones that President Obama announced a couple of days ago, both for the struggling poor, right? Those that are working their way into the middle class, and then ultimately a national refinancing program that will help those that are current in payments stay current. It'll ease stress and actually help families save about $3,000 a year once they're refinanced. What we're talking about here is a full complement of programs that takes you from when you need a hand up, right, to those that just need a hand to stay right where they are and keep fighting for their families. So I'm so pleased that the mayor and the staff invited us to come here today to witness this. You know, I grew up here going to school on the 14 Mission in the 12 Oceans. So I was right here every day riding by. So when my assistant said, "Do you know where it is?" I said, "I think I know exactly where this building is. So thank you for such a beautiful day to be home. Congratulations, Mayor, and your entire team on what you're doing. I've had the pleasure of working with the nonprofit communities that are involved in this project for an awful long time. We've known each other an awful long time, as well as other members of my family who continue to be involved in San Francisco. So the best of luck. I look forward to coming back and greeting those first, the first tenants who are calling this new place home. Congratulations and thank you again.
Thank you very, very much. The mayor mentioned that the development team that's managing the construction of this project is CCDC, Chinatown Community Development Corporation, and the project manager for that organization is Kim, and she gets to do all the day-to-day work to shepherd this through. But one of the greatest challenges of affordable housing, it's very, very difficult to finance affordable housing and get it constructed, but it's even harder to keep it running. And the organization that will be keeping it running and serving the residents here for many, many years is Swords to Plowshare. And Michael and Leon are here representing Swords. And they will have the heavy lifting over the long period of time. To really change the lives of those residents of this particular development. And they've had a very, very long and successful track record in doing so, and deserve all the support that we can give them going forward in the future. As any particular project here in San Francisco, the whole notion of it takes a village. Well, it usually takes a whole district to do a project, and in some cases it takes the delegation in Washington D.C. also to help. So there are many people to thank. And at first, I'd like to thank the leader's office. I see Dan and obviously Nicole's behind me, and also the D.C. staff. And I want to make sure that Bob Edmondson knows that we really appreciate his efforts on behalf of this particular project, and obviously the leader's efforts in helping finance this particular project. In addition to the leader's office, we wanted to thank Senator Boxer's office. All right, I'm not sure if members of oh, there they are. There. Thank you very much for being here and all your assistance. Jane Kim, this is in Supervisor Jane Kim's district, excuse me, and she is a wonderful supporter of affordable housing in this particular project. She couldn't be here because of a scheduling conflict. As we have wonderful leadership at the national level at HUD, we also have wonderful leadership at the regional level. And this is a regional office that has contributed greatly to the success of affordable housing in San Francisco, and I'd like to acknowledge Ophelia Bascal. And in addition to Ophelia, Raphael is here, and Maria, there they are. They're the team that does the implementation. And I think, again, one of the things is about this project is we talk about the sponsors, but I think the bottom line is it's about the people who will be here. So I wanted to do a shout out, so to speak, for Cheryl Cook from the County Veterans Office, as well as John Caldera from the president of the Veterans Affairs Commission, who's behind me, because they're the folks locally who are looking after our vets and advocating on their behalf to ensure that they get the services that they deserve. And lastly, I'd like to acknowledge the department heads who are here. The mayor mentioned Bevan earlier, and also Trent. This project has Shelter Plus Care Awards, which will help fund the operation of this development. The ongoing operating support will probably come through his department. And again, it shows the commitment of the city towards providing wraparound services to our veterans. And lastly, I'd like to acknowledge Tiffany Bohe from the Redevelopment Agency, whose tax increment financing helped fill the gap for this particular development. So again, there are many people I didn't acknowledge who are here, and you all contributed to the project, and this is a project that's halfway done and will even be better when we can open the doors. So, I missed somebody, Bobby Rosenthal from the Veterans Department. I apologize. So at this point, we're going to pass out hard hats, and we'll see the before, and I'm sure that everybody will be back here when we actually open the doors again and for our vets. Okay? Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Project manager.